I really like the way I've got my trigger set up in my Glock 23, so I just want to share what I have in it and what it does for it. Basically, I have the NY1 trigger spring, and what that's going to do is replace the trigger spring that pulls back on the trigger, and it's going to reverse that. It's going to push forward on the trigger. It's going to force the trigger forward, giving you a more positive, quicker reset, and by doing that, you're going to get better follow-up shots, because each time you squeeze off a shot, the trigger is going to basically go forward by itself, instead of just using the striker spring to pull it forward. And it's going to give you a nice solid reset. You're basically just going to be pressing shots off. You're not really releasing your trigger finger so much as just letting the pressure off your trigger finger, and it just snaps back to the reset. The downside of that is you get a heavier trigger pull. You can live with that with polished internals, or you can add a Zev striker spring and a Zev safety plunger spring, and then it'll go right back down to about the standard weight on the trigger. And then you have a really nice smooth trigger with a quick reset. And it looks something like this. And one of the things you'll notice is the trigger actually flies forward and goes back into battery. And the reason is there's very little resistance in the system, and you've got that NY pushing it forward. But you know, something you might want to try. It's really cheap to do, because the NY I think was $5 on eBay. The Zev kit for the springs was, I don't know, maybe another $10 at the most. And then you polish the internals, which, you know, is not going to really cost you much either, unless you just buy some polish or whatever. So, you know, to get this trigger to test it out, it's, you know, it's going to cost you maybe $15 or so. But I think you'd really like it. So if you want to give it a try, that's what I've got in there, and it works really well.